What's up, y'all? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Let's Talk. So I haven't done any episodes in a while, but this time it's really interesting because fresh off last week's more phenomenal week of Once and Always, which is continuously dominating Netflix right now. And so if I remember correctly, it was sitting at 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, then at 89. Now we are at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, to me, this is something that has never been done on Power Rangers because it's never been this popular since 93. But when it comes to Once and Always, I feel like this anniversary special makes up for all the years of confusion and wanting to know how Jason, Rockies, and Zach's and the power coins were able to be used after years of confusion in terms of what happened in Alien Rangers when the command center was destroyed, their power coins were destroyed. And if you watch in space, Adam was using his broken morpher with the Mastodon coin, which got destroyed when the Thundersaurs got completely damaged. So, and once the Ranger, he was able to bring back the power morpher. Maybe he fixed the power coins. I'm not sure. But if you remember the power transfer in season two, when Jason, Zach, and Trini were getting their powers traded to Adam, Rocky, and Anishas. So Jason's, Zach, and Trini's coins were never destroyed. It was transferred. So, which means that they were able to still use their power coins. So, and once and always, they pretty much answered and fixed everything that we've been wanting to know throughout 30 years of the franchise. But speaking of once and always, there's a possibility that we could end up getting a sequel. And so, based on how incredible Netflix is doing right now with this special, 6 million people watch the special. Now, you know there's going to be some family that grew up with Power Rangers are going to end up enjoying it. Yes, it's campy, it's cheesy, but that's the charm that Power Rangers is known for, right? So if you got to add cheese and campiness to it, at least do it right. And once and always got everything right for the most part. So to me, I would like to look at once and always as a blessing in disguise because we haven't had good anniversary specials since Forever Red. Once and always definitely is one of my top 5 specials of all time. It didn't really feel like an episode. It just felt like a movie / TV episode. You know, the way the cinematographies, yes, it was low budget, but if they were to actually make a part 2 out of it, I think there's going to be some money being thrown into it, if you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and dive into comicbook.com, who has uploaded a YouTube interview with Walter Jones and David Yost, who says that they would like to come back to do a part 2. And Simon Day said that the sets are still up, so they're going to probably do part 2 of Once and Always. So it wouldn't take them this long or this second to clean up everything that they built. So if they do, I would like for them to actually do a TV show out of it. Not just a part 2, but like a regular TV show, like a 10-minute mini series of Once and Always, to have Austin, if he's able to come back, if he's able to leave the country to go to New Zealand to film this special or TV show, and maybe whether Amy Jo Johnson returns or not, I'm not sure, but at least you have Cat. So, it'll make sense if them, Charlie Kirsch, or this brand new actor who was a martial artist can play the role of JJ to become the Green Ranger in Once and Always Part 2, or whatever title they're going to end up throwing at, which I'm hoping they do, because I would love for them to actually do that. So we're gonna go ahead and go to this website right now. If I could just share the screen. No, that's not it. All right, so we're here. So we're not going to read the article. We're just going to look at the YouTube video that they just uploaded to their website. And so that's just my TikTok. So this interview should be interesting. So let's get to it. Oh, don't film me now.
It's great seeing you two suit up again and back in action. And so I just wanted to know, how does it feel on your end? What moment really helped it sink in for you?
You know, I think for me, I mean, there's just being on the set in the command center and then stepping up and saying it's morphin' time was like, I'm doing this. I'm to morph. Let's go. I was like, it's been a long time. It's been like 28 years since I did this. So that moment, I think, for me, was definitely one of the standout moments.
For sure. Always getting to say it's morphin' time or yell Triceratops or Mastodon, whatever, that certainly puts a shockwave in your acting body, and you're like, oh wow, we're really back in this, aren't we? So but I will say, I think for me, the day that Walter and I had to get back in our spandex was an eye-opening experience for me. You know, so to be middle-aged gentlemen in our walking around in spandex, you know, we pulled it off, I think, but you know, that was sort of a surreal moment for me, because it's like, wow, we really are doing this again. And you know, so it was a lot of fun. Obviously it was a pretty intense scene as well, so it was a lot of fun to get to film that and sort of bring that 93 era into where we are now.
Exactly.
Right. And one of the big things fans were excited for was, you know, seeing you two, seeing Billy and Zach on screen as Power Rangers again for the first time in like a long time. And not only that, but getting these updates about how their lives have been since we've last seen them. So was there one thing that each of you wanted to get across for your characters to maybe fill in those gaps since we've seen them last?
I think I just wanted the fans to know that I was a Ranger. Being a Ranger was always in my heart, and it was something that I would always want to do. I would always be willing to step back into that place if need be. You know, going off to where I went off to. Where did I go? I went to the peace treaty, the peace conference, right? Going out there to that place, you know. I didn't anticipate that it would take so long to get back, but I was happy to be back.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, last time they saw Billy was sent off to Aquitar. So, you know, I've always been curious and wanted to tell people where Billy's been. You know, I think a lot of fans assume that Billy just stayed on Aquitar for all these years, but for me, that never made sense. He's too inquisitive of a person to be like that. So I think after a few years, he started traveling the universe and kind of became his own Captain Kirk. And we kind of get to see a little bit of that in the special, but you know, we know that Billy's come back to Earth and he's created Cranston Technologies, but there are certainly hints that Billy often goes out and travels in space. So I thought that was really a cool thing and feels really authentic to where Billy would be and is.
So speaking of that, actually, you know, it's revealed that, you know, Zach is like a congressman, you know, and Billy actually did leave Aquitar, which is great. You know, but did those futures in the special match, like, did they come any close to what you might have had in mind, you know, coming back to this for your characters?
Well, I personally, I really like the vision the Boom Comics has with the three of us going off and becoming an elite group of Rangers, intergalactic Rangers, going around to different galaxies or the dimensions and helping other Rangers. I think that definitely serves Zach's character in a way that was, greater than just becoming a politician. Although I was happy that at least it was showing that Zach still had helping people in mind.
That makes sense.
Absolutely. And, again, like just getting the hints that Billy is often out in space is certainly something that I would want for my character. So, I feel like it's pretty in line with what I would want for Billy. So I don't really have any issues there.
Great, that's great to hear. But at the same time, there are some very heavy themes that Once and Always deals with. Both your characters are dealing with grief, and some very real grief in a lot of ways. So first, David, I wanted to ask you, how does it feel to come back and explore this new version of Billy, who's not only dealing with grief, but also dealing with the guilt of setting Once and Always in motion, essentially?
Right. I mean, as David, I kind of have panic going on right now until this thing airs, because it can go a lot of different ways. And I don't know that I got what I wanted 100% for Billy, because Billy's put in a position where Trini steps up and saves Billy. Basically, she puts her life on the line for Billy. So, obviously that's difficult as a character to have that grief. And then, then her daughter, Min, basically steps up and does the same thing. And so for me as a character, I'm like, what's going on? And it plays with my mind a little bit character wise, but hopefully the resolution is there enough. I really would have liked a scene, a little bit more of a scene with Billy and Min really kind of trying to reconcile a more loving type of relationship. It's there, but I really wish we could have had more of a conversation about everything that transpired and how.
I agree with that as well, because to me, just seeing Min and Billy interacting with each other at the juice bar reminds me of the time Billy and Trini interacted with each other during the original run of the show. And just seeing that, it kind of makes me a little emotional on the inside just thinking about it, because David and Trini had a close relationship in real life. I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen some behind the scenes stuff out of filming Power Rangers in '94. And you will literally think that those two would have had something special. Everybody wanted to know if Trini and Billy would have started dating. I mean, I would like to see that, but if they were to reboot Power Rangers with Mighty Morphin, hopefully, that I would like for them to actually develop a relationship, because Trini and Billy were very close. Because anytime when Billy starts to speak technobabble, you literally think that he was speaking Japanese, but Trini was always there to translate everything he says. So with that in mind, I would like for them to actually do that. So I kind of agree with what David Yost is saying.
The guilt that Billy really does feel and carries with him. So it's there, but it's not. So hopefully the fans will be kind. And then we did discuss a lot, like, what is the tone of this? How do we keep it, the nostalgic 93 Power Rangers, but how do we bring it into an adult version? And how do we deal with real emotions? And how far do we go with those emotions? So there's a lot of discussion about tone, and hopefully the tone is right. I do think it is right, because it touches on the seriousness of it, but it still gives the fans obviously the Power Rangers love that they're going to love. So again, it was great as an actor to get to deal with all of those things, and I just hope that the fans really.
And also, speaking to those toxic fans, I keep seeing on YouTube's reviews and a lot of toxic comments on Twitter and Instagram saying how David's acting is a bit stiff. He should be getting more emotion and stuff. Like, I've seen him get more emotions in his acting in Once and Always than any other actors. That's how David acts. Like, what more do you people want? So what if he's aged? So what if he's old? So what if they're old? It's called celebrating the 30 years of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which is season 1. 30 years. Like, the people just like to nitpick so many stuff all the time. It is getting really old real fast. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. If it ain't for you, then don't watch it. Just that simple. Oh, I thought I played.
Really
My bad.
embrace it.
And Walter, on your end of things, Zach has become more of a guardian and a mentor this time around due to everything that happens. So, what was your process in approaching adding this extra layer to Zach? Who has significantly changed from the last time we've seen him.
Well, I think the character Zach has always been someone that felt responsible for being a protector of people in general. And my team, my family, everybody, anybody around me that needed help, I think Zach always wanted to be there for them and even as a congressman, continue to help people, in the community. So I think when he steps up to care for Trini's daughter, that is something that he would just do. It's like something that he has the heart that wants to help and help build and help guide. And for me as Walter, as an actor, I found that position easy to step into because I have 2 kids. I have a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old. So I've already helped them. I've guided them in their lives if they become adults. And then to give that energy to Charlie Kirsch as men, it just seemed natural.
Awesome. So,
you gotta respect Walter Jones for being a great father and being a great role model for his kids. I think that's what today's day and age really need: a strong father figure, role models in their lives, because without that, there are chances that children will end up acting out crazy and unless they turn into adults doing OnlyFans and porn and all of that craziness, because that's what a fatherless child is going to end up being. And the fact that Walter Jones actually mentioned all of this makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. So, and once and always, it makes a lot of sense of him looking after men, now that Trini is gone. So, even though he became a congressman in the special, we didn't really see how he interacted with the people inside of a White House or anything, or him actually getting into politics in the special. Because I've mentioned this in the past, when you read the Go-Go Power Rangers comic, you would know that Zach has always, well, I wouldn't say been into politics, but he was getting into it though. So the comics make sense than the show. And once and always, I'm surprised they actually brought it up. And so, like I said, being a father is really important because you really need to be around in your child's life, because like I said, if they ended up turning out terrible without a father figure, like I said, porn, OnlyFans, them acting stupid, using their bodies for clout, for likes, them getting into certain entertainment industries that can lead to depression, suicide, drugs, prostitution, and not to mention sex trafficking. You know what I'm talking about. So I know what I'm saying has nothing to do with this video that we're reacting to. It's just them experiencing them filming on set at once and always, and possibly getting the sequel though. But I'm just letting you know how I feel on the inside that I've seen in real life and on social media, because you know what I'm saying is facts. So shout out to Walter Jones for speaking up for this.
Speaking of that, actually, working with Charlie Kirsch, both of you have some very intense scenes. Zach talks to her about what being a Ranger is about.
Oh yeah,
and Billy's basically just going through everything he's going through with Charlie Kirsch's men. So, what did you, both of you, what did you enjoy most about working with Charlie and ushering this new actress into the franchise?
I love the fact that she was so well prepared. I mean, she really did she worked hard to to be ready for every scene and for every, physical challenge. And yet she was still very pliable. So, when you're acting with someone, if they're stuck in a way of doing things, if they're not reacting to what you give them, then that can make a scene very stale. But she was very good at being present in the moment and taking everything that was given to her.
Yeah, I mean, she really embodied her character well, and you could really feel that she had researched Trini. I think she was always prepared, as Walter was saying. So I remember one time Billy always has these long lines, whatever, and long words that he's got to say, and I kept getting stumbled. I'd stumble on my line, and she'd whisper my line to me in my ear. And one time she's like, "Why am I the only one that knows everybody's lines?" And so I just thought that was funny. So she's very smart and a super talented martial artist, and she was such a great addition. And I'm really excited to see where her career goes.
I would like for them to actually bring the entire cast back, because the chemistry I've seen in Once and Always, it definitely reminded me of the original cast, and the fact that she actually researched 3 train as Trini, it really goes to show you that even as an actor or actress, you have to do some research on these characters before you decide to play them. Whether it's their son or daughters, niece or nephew, you have to research these characters before you decide to play the character that represents them. And so I'm glad that Charlie Kirsch was able to do that. Not a lot of, I can't get it out. Not a lot of actors and actresses were able to do all of that. So yeah, just saying that, it brings me so much excitement of what's to come in the future. And if they were to come out with a Blu-ray and DVD set, I would like to actually see if they're going to include some of deleted scenes that were not in the special, because this is interesting.
I think she makes a great Yellow Ranger, and she's got a lot of natural talent and a lot of natural gifts. So it was a lot of fun to work with her, because obviously it can be sort of intimidating to come work with Walter and I, the two guys that started this whole thing. And we could have been jerks, but I don't think we were.
Right.
And we all had a lot of fun together.
She was very well loved and embraced, and she felt very comfortable to be playful, and that was great, because we had that,
Yep.
with what we have together.
Awesome. So, Billy's kind of become like the Tony Stark of Power Rangers, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
He's got this sweet tech, he's got a business that's doing really well. He's a superhero. And, he even has his own Ultron in Robo Rita. So, David, I just want to know what you feel about that comparison, these little MCU flavors in there.
Well, I mean, I think that's a huge compliment. I think obviously Billy's probably smarter than Tony Stark. No offense. I think Billy's leaps and bounds ahead of a lot of people, and he doesn't get that. He doesn't get the kudos that he should because of that. I mean, he had a flying car. He built a flying car when he was 16, and he built communicators that can teleport people when he was 16. So, his brain is just always thinking, I think, and obviously it's really cool to get to see Cranston Technologies, and he's kind of designed it about the way that the old command center looked, and he's got all these fancy cars, but he still always has the rad bug that's out there flying around. So it's a pretty cool comparison if people compare Billy to Tony Stark.
Oh yeah. Just imagine Billy and Tony Stark working together in a comic, because imagine Billy and Tony Stark, partnering up to create the biggest tech companies in the world. Billy's a Ranger, Tony Stark is Iron Man. Like, if they were to recreate a museum with those type of technologies, Tony Stark has his Iron Man suits inside of this thing, and Billy has, the history of Power Rangers on TV and the viewing of the command center, Zonon up in front, just imagine those two becoming the richest tech company of all time. Just those two, Billy and Tony Stark. I'm just saying.
Awesome. So, one of the things that took me by surprise, Walter, we did Cop Keto. It was just so. Did you put that sequence together? Because there were some slick moves that I don't know. It kind of seems like you would have had to come up with them yourself.
No, yeah, well, I mean, hip hop keto was something that was created for me. So I was able to sit down with the stunt guys and kind of, talk through what I wanted to do and explain to them why it was going to work. Like, why this would work. So this would work in this way, and it was interesting because I would talk to the stunt guys and they would ask advice. Well, in hip hop keto, how would you do this sequence? And I'll go, well, thinking from a hip hop perspective, I mean, I would probably move to here and then go to there because that ideally makes sense to me in the way of a movement. So it was a lot of fun. Obviously, hip hop keto is more painful than it used to be. but we knocked it out. Like Zach still got it, So hey, like Zach don't crack. Let's go.
It's very, very impressive, Walter. I have to give.
Yo, he actually said it when we were saying Black don't crack, Zach don't crack. Oh, I love this interview.
You like a lot of props for what you did. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, total props. I slip a disc when I wake up the wrong way. So, so major kudos. So was there anything that you ended up shooting for the special that didn't make the cut that you were kind of hoping to see?
Well, for me, a lot of Billy's stuff got cut. So I don't really know what to say about it, or shortened, I should say. A lot of stuff got shortened down. So, but I think all the crucial elements are there. But this isn't being released early, right? This will be released tomorrow.
No, yes.
When we're in the Moon Palace and Billy pulls out the blade blaster and he starts shooting, we really shot this whole sequence of Billy running through the Moon Palace trying to shoot Snizzard with the blade blaster, but you only see it for a second. And I was like, oh wow, man, I shot all this stuff and it just doesn't show up there. So I was a little disappointed in that, but overall, it's still there. So I can't complain.
Yeah, I don't think there was much that I felt that went missing. I know that, I mean, obviously some things were cut, whether it be lines here or there or some of the physical activity, but I was pretty satisfied with the way it turned out.
Yeah, I was
awesome.
too.
Yeah. So, seeing Once and Always, to me, it felt like it really captured what made Twee and Trini special. And it feels like a love letter to her in a way.
Here's another frustrating part as well. The Once and Always special was never going to be about Jason David Frank. They filmed the special before he passed away. So I'm sure when the sequel will come out, they're going to probably do a tribute to him as well. As I've stated in my last video about them doing a sequel about JJ becoming the new Green Ranger. So that could be one of the biggest tributes to Jason David Frank as the Green Ranger. But what pisses me off about these people doing reviews on YouTube is that they always say that this doesn't feel right without JDF. Of course it doesn't, because even though his character is in it, but the actor is not involved because he's dead. So they just use like voice samples from certain episodes of Power Rangers to able to match the fighting while they're fighting Snizzard and Minotaur. And so I was watching this one video. I'm not going to say the person's name, but he mentioned that the movie lacked some original Rangers. It lacked the spirit of the original Power Rangers. The fuck? How is it lacking the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Cat and Rocky were Mighty Morphin. Sometimes I just wish people just need to get the nostalgia goggles out of their booties and brains, because I truly think they don't understand, how things work in the industry. They only have, what they can work with. Yes, they may have not had the budget for the Megazord, for the fight scenes or whatever though. But when you think about it, the visuals in the special look good to me. So what? This, what I'm saying? This is not Super Sentai. They may have used some stock footage some stock footage of men seeing her mother's vision for the first time, and Rita coming out of the space dumpster. And there was some originality being put in it. So, of course, they had a little bit of something they had in the studio. It's low budget, and yet it turned out great. Rotten Tomatoes like it. Rotten Tomatoes love it. Fans love it. I love it. So, for anybody that wants to crap on this special, trying to make it, terrible for the people that really wants to see it, that love this franchise, they're going to get a kick out of it. They're going to appreciate it. So, best thing you do is just keep your negative thoughts to yourself and try not to ruin it for everybody that love and appreciated this special for what it is. Take it or leave it.
So I just want to know from your perspectives whether or not it feels the same way, and if so, what was the most important element that you felt, when bringing all of this real world stuff into Power Rangers and treating it the right way? Like, what did you want to come across in all these heavier themes?
I personally I was really happy that we were able to finally say goodbye to her, meaning like that we could come together as a group within Power Rangers or in fandom and give kudos to who she was and what she provided within Rangers, because I think she was the heart of our team. Like everybody has something they did, within our team, that we were specialists. I think that's what made us special as Power Rangers. We were teenagers with attitude, but because we were confident in what we did, everybody had something they did really well. And when we came together as a team, that made us special. And I think Trini's character really was the heart. So, I think it was really important for us to be able to say goodbye to her in a way where we.
And then I hear people say that also, that this special lack the original soundtrack from the show, like Combat, Go 541, We Need a Hero, like those iconic songs from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And this is an original movie. Not everything has to be like the TV show from the 90s. Not everything has to be from the soundtrack, in terms of the fight scenes with the putties in the Angel Grove juice bar, especially the Zord music. When the Zords came out, you don't always have to use the Megazord music from the show into the, the special, unless they have rights to it. But for God's sakes, if you want to see that, go watch the show. Go watch the original show. You're not going to get all of that in once and always.
Honor her and give her flowers finally, because it's been a number of years, and now we're all finally mature enough to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just thought I'm really glad that Hasbro stepped up to the plate and really wanted to honor Twee as an actress and the character that she played, Trini, because Trini obviously meant so much to so many people, especially to young girls. She was a female superhero, and obviously she meant a lot to Asian women everywhere, giving them hope. And her character was so sweet yet so strong, and she was obviously always Billy's translator. Nobody could understand what Billy was saying, so Trini was always the character that sort of helped Billy express himself. And so I think it's such a great way that we got to honor her. And I'm glad that we got to do it. And Walter and I and Austin and Amy Jo and Jason David Frank, we used to always, when we'd see each other at Comic Cons, we were always wishing that Twee could be there with us.
Yeah.
To experience the amazing love that the Power Ranger fans have for us, and what our show did in so many lives, and how it's just like transpired and inspired over all these years. And it was just really great to get to see that. And we hear so many stories about her, and how excited fans are to get to see how we're going to honor her in this special. So I'll be really curious to see how it goes.
And on that note, we're dealing with, all this stuff, because 30 years is a long time, right?
Yes.
And, we get some big moments and once and always. So I just wanted to know, to me, it felt like it grew up with me. Like I'm 30 years older, 20 something years older. And
I felt the same way when I saw the special last Wednesday when I did a live reaction to it. I was originally going to do it with my cousin, but I forgot to call her and let her know that I was going to cancel it so that I could do it alone. But for the next time we do it, it's going to be a lot of fun, because I think she told me that she's seen it, on Netflix, and she loved it. But for the most part, just seeing everyone come together, Kat and Rocky, Billy, Zach, and man, I feel like they created the new original five, even though Austin and Amy Jo Johnson did not want to come back. Austin had a reason to not come back because of his legal issues. Amy Jo Johnson didn't want to come back because of personal issues. So we have to take to some consideration to understand her reasoning instead of crapping on her for not coming back. So at least you have Kat and Rocky. So the best thing for you to do is use what was given to you and make it work. And that's exactly what they did in the special.
I just want to know from your two perspectives, seeing the final product, whether or not you felt like it was the more mature version. You touched on this before, but if this was the more mature version of the show that you wanted to see when coming back to it.
I think it certainly is. I think it embraces a lot of what Power Rangers was in the 90s. It still has a little bit of the kitschiness of it, and but it certainly it shows an evolution of where we are now. And I certainly think, because the theme and the story is more adult in some ways, that we're kind of like preparing. Let's say we're preparing our fans who are like 18 to 39, whatever, that we're going to take this in a little bit darker, a little bit more mature way, and we're going to deal with real life situations. So I think it's really great that we were able to do that in this special. And I think our fans, the original fans, because they're adults now, are going to really enjoy it because they can relate to it more than if we were just shooting a kid's version of what we did 30 years ago. So I'm excited to see what they feel about it. Obviously, there's been so much hype already, and people are so excited to see it that because of that, maybe more will come out of it, and we'll get to see the original cast in maybe a limited series or something like that. Like, hopefully this will just be the tip of the iceberg as we start onto a new journey.
Yeah, I really feel
It wasn't that just saying that, everybody has been saying that for a few days, since it's continuously dominating Netflix right now with its numbers. 6 million people are loving this special. Countries like Brazil, UK, or any other countries I don't know about, they're now falling in love with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And what Hasbro and E1 and Netflix were able to provide for those people and for us in the US was incredible. So I'm glad that David brought it up, that we might end up seeing a mini series of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And I hope that Charlie Kirsch comes back as as Min, the Yellow Ranger, the new Yellow Ranger. And I would like for Simon Ben and them to actually either create the Dino Megazord and recreate those scenes like they did it once and always fully, just like the show, but make it like modernize it with some sweet effects too, you know. If not, then just use what you got and make it work. I think that is one thing that I would like to see as well. You know, I wasn't a fan of the CGI Megazord, but at least they tried. But other than that, I still enjoyed it overall.
Feel like that this has potential to be like Cobra Kai in the sense that there are lots of stories to be told, and we can go anywhere in the universe. We have multiverses. I mean, there's been so many cast in so many different places and so many different situations with different powers and Zords and so forth, and and dimensions and galaxies. I think there's just so much more we can do with it, and the fact that we've added Jeopardy to the pot can definitely be something that the adult realm of fans will be very excited about.
Awesome. So if you two,
you gotta love Walter Jones and David Yost were able to embrace what the fans have been saying ever since this movie came out. You know, this definitely has Cobra Kai vibes to it, and I feel like it's been done just right. So it's only right for them to actually do that, and I would like for them to actually do that with the future Power Rangers seasons or whatever Sentai they're going to end up adapting, or just create their own original Power Rangers series. I mean, at least you have the Jonathan Entwistle's Power Rangers project coming up in the future. That he might end up going to that route, but just don't do too much of that nonsense that everybody's been saying. I don't want to say, but I'm going with. So, yeah.
you got the call to come back again someday. Would you be down for it?
I would definitely consider it. Absolutely.
I'm always open to the possibility, for sure.
Awesome. And that is all the questions I had for you today, gentlemen. I very much appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Okay, what is going on now? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this Chromebook, but it's been acting silly. But what's y'all thoughts on the interview? I thought it was fantastic. I love how they addressed what was happening behind the scenes, and the fact that they were able to embrace the fandom of what they're saying about the sequel, feeling like Cobra Kai, with their thoughts on 3 Train and Charlie Kurtz playing the new Yellow Ranger. And I think what they're actually saying, it makes a lot of sense if you ask me. And also, it's the fact that they're now saying the same thing we've been saying the entire time, that it would have been cool if we did have a sequel, which I know we're going to get, because if you look at the numbers on Netflix, 6 million people are watching it so far. It wouldn't surprise me if we continue to go up and rise up. Like, we are literally almost there. I think if they were to do a sequel, like I said before, throw some money in it and hire an actor who can play JJ as the new Green Ranger, and maybe you could do a 10-episode miniseries leading up to that moment. That right there is what I would love to see as well. So, and before that, we're going to get into some comments, because I know a lot of you have been saying what I'm saying. So we got Austin Manel, what's going on? Nice to meet you. I mean, I want to say nice to meet you. What's up? What the fuck? I totally agree with you on those points, bro, about another sequel to Once and Always. But I also want a 10 or 16 episode season. If you want to call it a season, call it like maybe season 31 of Many More for Power Rangers, but shorter, but sweeter. Movie Universe, what's up, bro? How you doing? Nice to see you. You got Johnny, what's up, bro? How you doing? Let's see. Says, I totally want to see another sequel to Once and Always in the form of 10 episodes. Let's make it happen. It's gonna happen. Like listen, I wouldn't be surprised if the Illuminati actually came out with a story saying that it's confirmed that they're going to be doing a 10 episode miniseries of Many More for Power Rangers. That is a tribute to season 1. So, like Walter said, there's a lot of stories to tell of them going to multiple galaxies and visiting multiple Ranger teams and different dimensions and having this Cobra Kai feel, but making it feel like Power Ranger-ish at the same time, but not make it too cheesy. You know what I'm talking about? About it can lead to more awesome stuff like a sequel to or a 10 to 16, 19 season. Oh, you're talking to John. I thought you were talking to me. Sky Dub, what's up? I'm excited for more from both. I am too. It makes me excited for Cosmic Fury though, because you know Cosmic Fury is finna be lit. All they turning heel, turning on the Rangers, joining the evil side. And if he does join the evil side, I wonder what powers they're gonna end up giving him, because you know Lord Zed is the official villain of in Cosmic Fury. And it wouldn't surprise me if there's going to be original villains for it. Since they are in space, I would like for that to happen. I bet this is a drama come true for you. A dream come true. Possible, yes. Basically. I watched the movie though. I thought it was a great, in my opinion. And yeah, there were some hicks in it. True. But they're going to do better in the sequel if we're ever going to get one, which I know we will. MEPR Once and Always was exactly what I expected. Yeah, cheesy, campy, fun, but good at the same time. That's all I want. What's up, bro? How you doing? That's good, man. As long as you enjoyed it, that's all that matters. A multiverse exploration sounds good. Maybe give it like a Avengers Endgame vibe or Spider-Man No Way Home vibe. You know, just a thought. What's up, Brandon? How you doing? Nice to see you. I don't know what people are talking about when he said the movie was bad. I finally watched it and I loved it. Zach still has it. He does. You know, here's the thing. When Walter Jones said that Zach don't crack, I literally marked out when he said that, because that's what we be saying. When Black people keep up with good hygienes in their life, that's how you know they don't do drugs. They don't do crack. Blacks don't crack. Zach don't crack. You know what I'm talking about? So I thought that was pretty funny and interesting of what he said. I like that a lot. Last comment. It was like a dream come true for me, and I was happy. Stay with me. All right, y'all. So I think I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate y'all for coming out as always. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank y'all for coming out. Appreciate it. I'm out of here.